Now, within the last 17 weeks, I've been binge watching the one, the only Doctor Who. I've went on a mad watching spree, finishing all 10 NuWho seasons, and have started at the very beginning, and I'm currently just finished The Aztecs, which to me has been one of the best episodes of Doctor Who I've ever seen. I love this show. I cannot fathom how much I do. It jumped in front of Supernatural, Glee, and Game of Thrones for me. I love how the show is so malleable and so grandiose. But I finally got the time to make a long-awaited video that I've had in mind for almost 5 weeks now, which is, as the title suggests, ranking all the modern Doctor Who seasons. I have a ranking for every episode of the modern series, and that means I also have averages for each season. But I'm not counting averages, due to some seasons having great averages even though they were quite, well, shite. And the opposite, but here I am. Here is a ranking of the modern Doctor Who seasons. Number 10. Season 9. Well, where to begin? Well, let's start with the positives at least. The opening 2 eps I didn't mind, even though a lot of people hated them. I actually didn't mind them. They weren't good by any means, but they were watchable just for the Davros and Doctor scenes. The lake episodes that follow were creepy, but so forgettable. Let's not get started on the adventures of me, and the Zygon stories to me were blur at best. Though they did bring up good moral messages. The overall best episode of the season was Heaven Sent, but what followed it was not good, to say the least. And the Doctor acting like your cool hip granddad was cringe-inducing, though I actually did laugh at the tank scene, due to how stupidly stupid it was. I thank the heavens that for like 10 episodes, it wasn't the Clara show like season 7 and 8 were. But terrible writing, Moffat being Moffat, and hell-bent caused this season to be forgettable at best. Number 9. Season 7. Well, thank God the specials were good. Season 7 was bad. The only good moments were Angels Take Manhattan, which had a bit of a what-the-fuck ending. The Rings of Akaten was actually decent, Hyde was creepy in ways, and The Name of the Doctor was really good. But now almost every other episode in the series was really bad. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship was fucking terrible, and the opening Christmas special was definitely the worst one in modern Doctor Who. The Snowman was mediocre at best, Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS was redundant, full stop. And the Crimson Horror was just plain dog shit and a waste of a great actress in the girl who plays Elena Tyrell in Game of Thrones as a cameo guest. Clara is decent until they made her the most important person in existence only after having like 7 episodes. The lack of a central theme, and the writers obviously did not talk to each other once during the writing period. Thank God Day of the Doctor was great, and the Time of the Doctor was goodish. Number 8. Season 6. This was a really hard decision, whether to put the season that got just put above this one in 8th place or 7th place. But don't get me wrong, this season was bad because of the finale being so anticlimactic. There are some really good episodes in this season, including, in my opinion, the best Christmas special in A Christmas Carol, and the opening episodes that left us with so many questions, and the great appearance from the King of Hell himself. The Doctor's Wife still remains as one of the strongest episodes of NuWho, and the massive plot twist of Riversong being the Pond's daughter was a great plot twist, but the season was kind of up and down after that. The writing of Riversong was too ambitious, and had such an anticlimactic ending. All in all, the season was decent, but the entire arc of the death of the Doctor was ruined by its ending, which ruined the story arc of the entire season. Number 7. Season 2. David Tennant's run did not start off too great. The Christmas Invasion was pretty boring until Tennant took the reins, and most of the other episodes were pretty bland, not to mention Love and Monsters. Oh, and the Idiot Lantern was pretty trash. But this season had its fair share of pretty good episodes, though. The double of the Return of the Cybermen and the Satan Pit were really good, and of course arguably the best episode of NuWho, The Girl in the Fireplace. But the lack of a central theme, which carried Season 1 so well, was non-apparent, and the fact that each episode felt so completely opposite from the last, besides the doubles, really brought it down. Oh, and the finale was a bit anticlimactic, but it still gives me the feels because I admit I love Rose, so Yeah. Number 6, Season 8. This season was actually decent, though Clara was much too focused upon when the 12th Doctor should have been at the focal point, due to it being his first season. This season's arc was meh. Missy didn't really take to me. Still hasn't really, though I do love her character and I don't see her as the Master. But to be honest, I need to watch the old Master story, so I won't talk on that. Good points. Deep Breath was good, but unlike most of the fan base, I wasn't the biggest fan. To be actually honest, I don't remember a lot of the season, but my memories of it aren't bad. The Mummy on the Orient Express was really amazing, and Time Heist was a brilliant conceptual episode. Bad points. Well, listen, this episode is my favourite of the season, but the ending is the worst ending in modern Who history, in my opinion. It had such an amazing concept like the Midnight Monster, but what the hell happened to it? I'd love to rewrite the story. The season arc kind of annoyed me and didn't intrigue me at all, but when it came to the finale, it sort of fixed itself. I was not okay with little Stuart dying. I was legit so sad, and the way they brought her back in Series 9 was extremely weird and not explained very well. And the Caretaker episode was pretty trash, and I hated the stupid relationship between Pink and Clara. Though I do like Pink as a character, and the way he interacted with Capaldi and the way they bounced off each other was brilliant conceptually. But I didn't see the relationship with him and Clara as real. Overall, a bit of a weird season that focused way too much on Clara when it should have been on the new Doctor. Number 5, Season 3. Fun fact. The Lazarus Experiment was the first ever Who ep I ever watched. I had no idea what was going on, but I kept watching because Mark Gatiss was in it. I was a Sherlock fan at the time, but I gave up 10 minutes in. Let me just get this out there. It's either you love Martha or you don't. I personally really like her. Also, she was the first companion of colour, and for a show like Doc Who, it was a long time coming. But this season had its fair share of crappy episodes. But the final stretch was amazing. I think David Tennant was the real standout in this series. We can move on from the Dr. X Rose stuff now, though he does mention her a lot, but it didn't impede every episode. Now that we're out of the negative seasons, let's just go through some of the great episodes. I loved Gridlock. Human Nature and Family of Blood really showed off David's acting skills as he had to play a completely different character, and the morality of human John Smith, and that ending had me in tears. Feck. Blink, enough said. Wow. And the reintroduction to the Master with the three-parter of Utopia, Sound of Drums, and The Last of the Time Lords was brilliant, though Utopia sticks out more and is definitely the best episode of the three. It was still highly enjoyable for me to see the Master for the first time. All in all, a great season, and Martha's departure was bittersweet, but it was a real strong show of her character. Number 4, Season 10. This season was a breath of fresh air. Bill as the companion was a great change from Clara. Bill felt like a real person I could run into down the road, and I loved that. But this season did not have the best episodes, but it was such a surprise from Season 9, it was so much more enjoyable. Though the Monk three-parter was up and down and I'd never watch it again, the opening 4 episodes, with the exception of Smile, were really good. The Thin Ice was brilliant, though the concept was used a lot, but I loved how they addressed racism, which has been avoided so much in Doctor Who recently. Knock Knock and Oxygen were great uses of the modern horror genre, and Empress of Mars was a little anticlimactic. I wish that would have been a 2-parter. I heard many say it was a throwback to classic Who, especially with Alpha Centauri. The finale I fully enjoyed. As the genesis of the Cyberman story and a double Master story, John Sim showed his full potential as the Master. Michelle Gomez played her troubled Master, and I thought it was her best performance as Missy. Though I kind of was let down because Moffat refrained from killing a companion. But I did like how the full circle of the pilot coming back was the end of Bill's storyline up until now they're doing making a comeback in Twice Upon a Time, so that's going to be a little, I don't know, we'll see what happens there. But the Vault could have been so much more, and the leak of Mondasian Cyberman and John Sim returning was expected, made the season less surprising, but overall a really enjoyable season. Number 3, Season 4 and Specials. At 3, we have 4. The last season and specials of Mr. 10. David Tennant. His best season. Okay, let me get this off my back. Donna is not my favourite companion by any means. I like Rose and Martha more than her, but Catherine Tate's chemistry with David Tennant is superb. Now, when I watched The Runaway Bride, I hated Donna. She was whiny and annoying, but this season I think she matured, and the proper introduction to her grandparents, slash parents, who were great additions, especially Wilfred. Also, Voyage of the Damned was really good because I had such low expectations with both Christmas specials being not that great. And fucking Kylie Minogue as a companion, but she surprised me. So good for you, Singing Canary. Now, looking at the episode list, there's only 2 episodes I did not like from the season specials. The Centaurans two-parter and The Next Doctor. Other than that, the season's great. Highlighted faves are Fires of Pompeii, Planet of the Ood, River Song's first appearance in the Library two-parter, and of course the two-parter that ended the season in Season 4, Stolen Earth and Journey's End, which was a massive reunion with Rose. Though it does have its problems, I did enjoy it at the time. Anywho. Now, don't crucify me, but out of the specials, my fave special was Planet of the Dead. Reason being, I love the companion in it, and I thought she would have been Matt Smith's first companion. I thought she bounced off Tennant so well. Now, Waters of Mars was great, but I don't know. I didn't like it as much as everyone else seems to do. Maybe because I was half asleep when I watched it. I don't know. Though the story was kind of bleh in End of Time, I still enjoyed it because of the brilliant acting all around, and Timothy Dalton as Rassilon. Come on. The best. He's the best. But I saved this for last. Midnight. Initially, I gave this episode an 8.5 out of 10, but now I think I might bump it up to a 9.2 or even a 9.5, because the more I think about it, the more amazing it is. The whole premise of the monster. The monster was the most frightening thing ever, more than the Weeping Angels, because we have no idea what the hell that thing is. It's so hard because I want to see this monster again, but I don't want it explained. If they do bring it back during the end of the 14th Doctor, or even save it for the 15th to 20th Doctor, and make Midnight and don't explain it. It has to be one of my favourite episodes of TV ever. Number 2. Season 1. I have to admit, the 9th Doctor is my Doctor. I love Chris Eccleston so much as the last Time Lord, and knowing that he destroyed his entire kind to end a war that could have destroyed the universe is just mind-boggling. Season 1 to me has so much replay value, and the story seems so relatable. Rose, though not being the most amazing episode, was a great introduction to Doctor Who, as it was the first episode I technically watched. End of the World was a bold episode showing off what the aliens would be and the future of our world. I love Chris and Billy's chemistry so much. It makes sense. She's a retail assistant who eats chips and doesn't want to get out of bed. What's not relatable about that? And though the Sylvain episodes were not great, and I did not enjoy the long game that much, Simon Pegg being the sort of main antagonist was great, and I did enjoy him. But Dalek was possibly the greatest introduction a non-Whovian could have to the terrifying monsters, and Father's Day remains as one of my favourite episodes ever. The Empty Child two-parter was pure amazing and chillingly creepy, while Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways was the best introduction anyone could have to regeneration, and I still admit it made me cry. I love almost every minute of Season 1, and it is one of the only seasons I'd rewatch and still love it to bits.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the number 1 you've been waiting for.
Number 1. Season 5. I knew of Matt Smith since 2013. One of my friends was obsessed with him, still is, but I never bothered to watch the show. At the time I had a lot of doubt on how Matt Smith could follow up David Tennant. How could he? But he did. He basically came into his own within the first episode. The 11th Hour remains to me the best post-regeneration episode. I can't wait to see the second Doctor, as he was the inspiration for Matt Smith's Doctor. But Season 5 was great from start to finish, and the overarching theme of the crack in time was amazing. Every episode was brilliant, besides the Hungry Earth two-parter. And the Stone and Flesh and Time of Angels was scary as hell. Vincent and the Doctor was so beautiful and brilliant. The Lodge was a great comedic turn before the final, and the finale was absolutely brilliant. I loved every second of it. The cliffhanger and the speech that Matt Smith gives in the first part of the Pandorica Opens was bone-chilling. Matt Smith's body language was brilliant. My favourite of all the Doctors. And out of the new Doctors, I feel like I could have the most fun with Matt's Doctor. The writing was amazing, and Amy, to me, was done properly. Oh, and not to mention, bow ties are cool. There you have it. I ranked all the seasons from NuWho, as we anticipate for Peter Capaldi's exit and the entrance of our highly anticipated 13th rendition of the Time Lord, Miss Jodie Whittaker. I shall be creating more Who content for you all. Farewell, my fellow Whovians, and may your adventures in space and time be amazing as always. don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to try and get this channel off the ground. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video wherever it may be.